Welcome to Big Hat Little Saddle Community College. Located in central Wyoming, BHLS is bound by a basic understanding to develop our community through lifelong learning. Big Hat Little Saddle will assist our constituents to develop their full potential through education, workforce training, and community development. BHLS values collaboration, excellence, inclusiveness, accountability, and lifelong learning. When you combine all of these, they equal student success. The goal of Big Hat Little Saddle is for our institution to be the community's college.
Big Hat Little Saddle college demographics consist of average enrollment for fall and spring is 3,450 students. The top three industries we align to and serve are ranching, mining, tourism. We are the only public provider of higher education for all of the Central Wyoming region and the institution of choice. Collaborations with business and industry. Environmental scanning and data from relevant business and community sources provide a context for collaboration with business and industry. Furthermore, Big Hat Little Saddle enhances the quality of life of the local and regional communities through providing arts and entertainment, athletic events, radio, and support for public service activities. Big Hat Little Saddle partners with employers to fund accelerated or customized training for their employees. Employers select employees to enroll as students, and we provide special class sessions. Big Hat Little Saddle also improves the quality of life of the state and local communities through cultural events, services to businesses, and the extensive volunteer activities of its staff, faculty, and students. Student demographics. 14% of Big Hat Little Saddle students self-identify as a member of a minority race or ethnic group category other than white or non-Hispanic. The average age of our students is 27. Of the first-time, full-time, degree-seeking students enrolled in fall 2013, 52% were still enrolled in fall 2014. 30% had graduated, and 28% had transferred on to another institution. First to second year retention rates of first-time degree-seeking undergraduates, as you can see, there is a wide disparity between full-time and part-time students. 92% of the students attending Big Hat Little Saddle are Wyomingians. Additional student demographics reflect the number of degrees and certificates awarded by level, race and ethnicity, and gender. Graduate rates of full-time, first-time, degree, certificate-seeking undergraduates within 150% of normal time to program completion by gender, race, and ethnicity. Within this group of the first-time, full-time, degree students who graduated, 30% were male, 29% were female, and 22% self-identified as a member of a minority race or ethnic group. Also, 67% of Big Hat Little Saddle students received Pell Grants. 8% had a subsidized Stafford loan and no Pell Grant, and 25% had neither. Employee profile. These educational providers, the resultant salaries for Big Hat Little Saddle, faculty and staff, and other expenditures by the college represent key components of the economic base of Central Wyoming and neighboring areas. Big Hat Little Saddle also contributes to the economic activity at the local and state levels through the placement of its graduates in high-skilled jobs, particularly mining, fracking, and tourism jobs that pay more than jobs requiring only a high school education. About two-thirds of the total economic impact of spending on higher education comes from the higher earnings of faculty, staff, and college graduates. Big Hat Little Saddle for years has had a tremendous economic and social impact throughout Central Wyoming. The economic numbers speak volumes as it relates to our community. Moreover, community engagement activities are an integral program component for a large majority of organizational units at Big Hat Little Saddle. Academic units use community venues as a professional outlet for faculty and students and a mutually beneficial learning relationship. Many non-academic and support units at the college are also intensively involved in community activities, often because such engagement is central to their organizational mission. Formal feedback from the community is taken very seriously at Big Hat Little Saddle. We self-evaluate the breadth and scope of our community engagement efforts using a survey from the Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching Community Engagement Elective Classification. This classification includes both curricular engagement and outreach and partnerships. Our assessment is based on a 5-point scale, and as you can see from the results, we have fared very well over the last 3 years.
I'm going to spend the next few slides dealing with the budget. As with any higher education institution, the budget is a fluid document that is impacted by many factors. BHLS is reliant on tuition for the majority of its revenue. The main driver behind tuition revenue is enrollment. This slide shows the overall student headcount over the last 4 semesters. As you can see, enrollment has been fairly consistent over the past year, and we expect that trend to continue. This chart here shows the last 4 semesters of total credit hours taken. On average, a student takes 8.6 credits per semester. Roughly 60% of our students are full-time students, and the remaining 40% have part-time status. Over the last several years, you can see that Big Hat Little Saddle has experienced strong enrollment growth. Spurred by an economy being driven by natural resources, BHLS has seen students choosing us to get the training they need to be successful in the field. More recently, enrollment growth has begun to slow, with just over 4,000 students being enrolled in fall of 2014. Historical credit hours has very closely mirrored the enrollment headcount. On average, students have been taking the same amount of credits over the years at the same rate. In fall of 2014, students took an overall number of 34,000 credit hours. Big Hat Little Saddle has tried very hard to keep tuition low and be an affordable option for students. Thanks to the support of the community and local businesses and industry, BHLS has been able to responsibly address increasing costs while at the same time mitigating tuition increases. In this chart, you can see our breakdown of the different categories of tuition. 70% of our students are classified as in-district, and for the 2014-15 year, their tuition is $110 per credit hour. The vast majority of those remaining students are out-district, and their tuition rate is $150 per credit hour. As you can see, we do have a small number of out-of-state students with their tuition rate being $175 per credit. These rates are a great value for students, and BHLS stands by keeping tuition rates low. The next few slides are going to look at total budget revenue from tuition and fees for the year. It's broken down by our 3 semesters, fall, winter, and summer. For fall of 2014, 78% of our students and their total credit hours fall under the in-district category. These students net a revenue of $2.6 million to the college. Out-district students represent 28% of enrollment in total credits, and these students contribute more than $1.4 million in tuition for the fall. Finally, out-state students make up the remaining amount. Fees are another major source of revenue for the school. These fees are clearly outlined and transparent and go directly to the line items they support. Fees such as registration and technology make up the bulk of this line item. There are smaller fees such as student activity and facility fees as well. Winter of 2015 is projecting to be very similar to the fall semester. There is approximately a $500,000 gap from the fall semester, and that is due directly to having fewer students being enrolled. Winters are hard here in Wyoming, and for some reason, we have always experienced lower enrollment in the winter semesters historically. Here is a slide showing summer 2015 tuition revenue as we project it to be. Obviously, summer is our smallest enrollment period. I want to take the time to explain the rest of the revenue streams. Higher education institutions in Wyoming are funded with three primary sources. They are tuition and fees, property taxes, and state appropriations. Historically, these three sources have always been funded relatively equally. However, over the past 10 to 15 years, tuition has become the main driver. Currently, tuition and fees represents 51% of our revenue. Property taxes represent another 20%, and state appropriations account for the final 26%. This is important to keep in mind as BHLS tries to strike a balance with keeping tuition low, and at the same time, that being the only major factor that the college has any say over. When we add up these three previous slides, the tuition and fees for the 2014-2015 year add up to $11.7 million.
Now that we have reviewed the current state of the college by the numbers and our impact on and place in the community, let's take a look at our institutional goals and objectives in the context of what we will be working to accomplish over the course of this next year. The foundation of the Big Hat Little Saddle educational experience is laid in the classroom. To ensure faculty and academic excellence, BHLS will pursue several strategies, including the implementation of a comprehensive faculty development plan that keeps our faculty on the cutting edge of their discipline, and a strong focus on retaining and promoting those who demonstrate a commitment to continuous improvement. In response to the continued exploration and development of Wyoming's abundant natural resources, BHLS will create an Associate of Science degree in mining technology and an Associate of Applied Science and Associate of Science degrees in wind technology. But we cannot focus solely on the classroom in our pursuit of academic excellence. Thanks to the continued advances of technology, learning happens in many places, and we must make sure we provide the best possible resources to our students and faculty. For example, over the next year, BHLS will complete an upgrade of all instructional audiovisual methods and integrate nursing clinical simulations into clinical instruction.
Another goal for BHLS is to enhance the quality of the student experience. We believe learning takes place both in and out of the classroom, and so a holistic approach for ensuring learning is required. Co-curricular activities, including student employment, foster the total development of the student and encourage lifelong learning and responsible citizenship. Professionalizing the student employee program is an opportunity for BHLS to enhance active learning and participation within the college. Furthermore, it is our priority to align student development outcomes with academic program learning outcomes. The college will implement a co-curricular e-portfolio for students. When coupled with the academic transcript, a holistic representation of the student's total education, both inside and outside of the classroom, will be created. Improving student retention and graduation rates is of great importance to Big Hat Little Saddle. Creating a vibrant campus life is critical. By improving the quality of the student experience through various initiatives, we believe we can increase our fall-to-fall iPads retention rate from 62.16% to 65%. We can increase the first-time full-time freshman cohort graduation rate from 19.25% to 23%, and increase the first-time full-time freshman transfer rate from 34.16% to 40%.
Big Hat Little Saddle is proud to be an integral part of the social and economic fabric of this community. Higher educational attainment contributes to the betterment of the individual, family, city, and state. We want to collaborate to extend educational opportunity to all who seek it, and we believe we can improve on those efforts by revising and clarifying our message about financial aid and our recruiting strategy, and by working with our partners in K-12 to increase dual enrollment programs. Further, we recognize the importance of supporting economic development. To that end, BHLS is in the first stages of a public-private partnership with the Wyoming Supercomputing Center and the Wyoming Business Council in support of a science and engineering research incubator.
Developing a campus culture with a sense of community and a commitment to organizational excellence is a Big Hat Little Saddle final goal. In spring 2014, employees completed the Personal Assessment of the College Environment Survey, also referred to as the PACE survey. PACE helps the institution to easily assess its progress and highlight areas for growth. College leadership is currently reviewing the results to learn how we can better promote a civil and collegial campus environment that values diversity and respect. We also understand that engaging parents in the college environment is critical to building BHLS community, and therefore we will continue to develop and evaluate our parent programs. BHLS aims to achieve institutional effectiveness through shared governance, responsibility, and accountability. We are committed to ensuring appropriate levels of staffing for student satisfaction and student success. The college is also creating a succession plan for the future excellence of Big Hat Little Saddle. Building financial capacity through revenue generation and investment and budget management is critical to organizational excellence. BHLS is making sound financial decisions by investing overage funds to secure future fiscal prosperity.
So in conclusion, we want to thank you for your attention and for letting us share with you the many successes and joys that we have for working at Big Hat Little Saddle Community College. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to stick around and answer them, and our office is always open to you. Thank you.